Good afternoon. My name is Jesus. Today we're going to be covering a topic of live migration, specifically shared nothing live migration. And as we can see here, we do have some requirements for this live migration. The first one is that both of the Hyper-V hosts have to be in the same CPUs for compatibility, so we definitely don't want to migrate a AMD virtual machine over to an Intel machine. The second one is that the virtual switch has to be in the same for both of the VMs for the migration to happen. And the third is that both of the Hyper-V hosts have to be connected to a reliable network, and they have to be on the same domain. So we're going to hop over here to our Hyper-V manager, and as you can see here to the left, I have two hypervisors. They're both Windows Server 2016 data center installations, so note that as well. The first one is going to be Preppers storage. I want to migrate a virtual machine from Preppers storage to Preppers Server 2016. But before we do that, we're going to have to check a couple of settings in the hypervisors to make sure that the migration goes through properly. So we want to click on their first hypervisor, and we'll click Hyper-V settings, live migrations. And we're going to make sure that enable incoming and outgoing live migrations is actually checked. And as you can see, we can actually use to set up a set of IP addresses for the migrations to happen. But for this occasion, we're only going to be using any available networks for the live migration. If we go to advanced features, we can actually set up the authentication and the performance options. For this, we're going to be using kernels. And for the performance options, we're going to be using compression. We can go ahead and click OK on that. We're moving over to our Prepper Server 2016 box. We're going to hit Hyper-V settings. And as we can see here, we're going to make sure that we have the same settings, enable incoming and outgoing live migrations, set IP addresses, which in this case we're going to use any available networks for live migration, our authentication protocol, and our performance options as well. Now, like I said before, we want to move Windows 10, the Windows 10 box, 1 to the 2016, the PP Server 2016, from the Preppers storage box. Now, to make sure that we have connectivity going on between excuse me, the virtual machine, we're gonna do a continuous ping on the virtual machine. Now we can see that the IP address of the Windows 10 1 box is actually 192.168.16.61, and then we're going to use a ping-t command to have that continuous ping. And as we can see, we do have connectivity. So from our let me move over so we can see it a bit. So we're going to right click on the virtual machine, and then we're going to hit move. Our move wizard is going to be up. We're going to hit next, and then it says what type of move do you want to perform. I'm going to hit just the virtual machine. Now this is where we put in the name of the server that it's going to. So in this case, it's going to the Prepper Server 2016. Let's see if we can find it. And there we found it. So we're going to hit OK on that. We're going to hit next. And then we're just going to move the virtual machine's data to a single location. Now the destination location for the folder that it's actually going to, we're going to browse it. We're going to go to virtual machines and select the folder. Now this is the folder that we want the destination to go to. We're going to hit next. This is a summary of the virtual machines and what it's actually going to do. We're going to hit finish on that. You should get a box here that says performing the move if Windows will allow us. So it looks like it's going to allow us. Now again, one thing to take into consideration is that if we're using a regular 1 gigabit Ethernet connection, it will take a while, and this also depends on how big the virtual machine is. This is just a Windows 10 box with nothing on it. If you're using a 10 gigabit Ethernet connection, that will actually move a lot faster. I believe the service is using a regular 1 gigabit per second connection, so we're going to have to wait until this virtual machine goes through. And as you can see here, the pings are actually going through. So I'm not going to have you guys sit here and wait while this entire migration happens. So I'll go ahead and pause the video and I'll come back once move is performed. Okay, it looks like the migration is finished. That actually took a while, by the way. And it was on this server, the virtual machine, and we're going to click on PP Server 2016, and there's a virtual machine. Now, from what we can see here, we can see that the pings were constant, and there was one ping where there was a timeout, and that was actually when the migration was close to being finished. And but we do have more pings, so meaning that the VM sustained fully full functionality or lost little or no connectivity or functionality. Um, so with that being said, that is how you migrate a virtual machine in a Hyper-V manager using a shared nothing live migration.